Yeah. Shalom Avracha. Well, we are coming to the end of the Great Lent. A Great Lent which is very special. To begin with, I thought what we could speak of a true return to God, conversion to God. But it seems that we are all, very pious Christians, very pious individuals, very faithful, religious people. And we cannot judge anybody. This is the paradox. We are on the Sunday of Saint Mary, the Egyptian. And of course, her story is either intriguing or quite exceptional, really exceptional. We see many people who dedicated their life to God with such a powerful will to do everything, to be at the utmost of what is really human and humane in order to feel in communion with the Lord and the Messiah. It is a very special question. I want to speak of the crime of Cain. One year ago, as I told you, I focused on the words pronounced by Metropolitan Onufri of Kiev, that the war in Ukraine was really a crime of Cain. It was similar to the crime of Cain. And I noticed at that time that these words had been pronounced and written by late Metropolitan Andrei Sheptetsky, the Greek Catholic Metropolitan of Lviv, Lvov, Lemberg, Lvov, Leopold, a man of profound insight, who knew what Ukraine was and what Ukraine was not, what faith is, unity in faith means and implies. And it implies a full dedication, a dedication that is a bit like Saint Mary the Egyptian's one. It goes straight and it goes far too far. It's not credible, incredible, unbelievable. When a person will go beyond human forces and human understanding in order to show that really, yes, I do believe that you, God, are in our midst and that you can save us and do something for us and can enlighten us, give us the power to overcome all the bad pulses that may come into our souls, our minds, our brains, and destroy them, or to destroy our lives. We're in an incredible time, you see. Everywhere, right now, on this, let's say, Sunday of the Saint Mary the Egyptian, 1 week before the Lazarus Saturday. 1 week before that, entering the Holy Week and the Passion Week, we face this crime of Cain. And I repeat, in 1942, Metropolitan Sheptytsky, who was a great man, out of standards, of the universal, Catholic Church. Okay, but the Catholic and Orthodox Church. He was not Orthodox, but he was in a very deep connection with the Orthodox. And he knew how to cope with them, how to try to solve the problems of the Civil War that had broken out by the time of the Revolution. Well, in 1942, he said, we faced the crime of Cain. He was speaking of the way the Nazis who entered Ukraine behaved themselves, and he also thought of the Ukrainians, Russians, all the people living at the time on the territories of Ukraine. He thought of them and said, we live a time of crime of Cain, when any person is able to commit worse things without even understanding that it, breaks and throws away any kind of revelation, any kind of sacraments, mysteries, presence of the Lord in our world. And this is exactly what we see at the present. The crime of Cain is in our midst. What do we do to stop it? And often it is not possible to stop it till it goes to some incredible act, not of violence, but, destruction of what destructs us, what destroys ourselves for who we think we are. It is, I would say, a very special, unique, and very difficult time, because we will enter the end of Great Lent, say that we will do everything to come closer to the Lord, but then do something. And when we want to do something, when you say to people, well, try to do something, they do exactly the opposite of what you ask. It's a joke. You say to somebody, well, this is the way you can help the situation. No. Well, I have another ID, so I will keep my ID and I will go straight in my ways. And you will have to cope with my ways and not yours. This is wonderful. And this is the way churches function without functioning. This is the way you can, how to say, try to bring people together and say, yes, I'm a member of the church and I listen to you, but I will listen with my ears, and your tongue is not able to be listened to by my ears. I know who I am. So let's say I'm in South Africa. I'm in Israel. I'm in Norway. I'm in America. I do what I want. And you do what I think. This is split. And this is what we see. You can go down in a church and say, oh, lovely, wonderful, and we are all in love of the Lord. And the Lord keeps us in his love. And his love, how to say, overshadows us. And it overflows with wonderful petals of blue zooming light. This is a joke. And we cannot say that it is the way to salvation. I must say that these days of the new crime of Cain was evident for years. Personally, I'm sorry to say that, I had written that in the Jerusalem Post for 3 years. And now for more than 10 years, something like 12 or something like that, in French, in the Times of Israel Français in French. I had described that simply. We are on the way to blow up. Blow up doesn't mean that we will die. Yes, some people will die, and they have to die, and they can't do otherwise. What happens in Ukraine is different. It has nothing to do with Syria, nothing to do with the naval planes in Iraq. Iraq, the Middle East, we know that it is going down. We know that most of the countries that had been built after the First World War and the Second World War, Lebanon, for example, Syria, are over, finished. It will be revamped. It will be remapped, reconsidered. It will take a long time. It will blow as it blows at the moment in Tel Aviv and in Israel with shameful attitudes for the state of Israel. I feel really sorry that such a Jewish call for righteousness, justice, for the sense of rights, rules, and laws can be deprived at that level, to that extent. But it will pass. Israel is growing up and is having a lot of contacts with the Arab world. And it had been prepared now for something like 50 years. I have seen that. I saw how it grew and grows and will grow. This is a grafting process. In Syria, in Iraq, it is a matter of destruction, extermination. And the same in Armenia. But in Ukraine, it is when in one family the father goes against the son against the father, the daughter against the mother against the mother-in-law, and so on and so on. The family ties are burning in flames. And this crime of Cain is real at the core, in the heart of the reason why we should pray this year. It is a very serious, so far, very serious matter. It looks like more than any kind of a joke that human beings can behave in such a way. Well, I mean, it's totally weird. A Russian soldier kills, rapes a family, takes the fur of the woman he killed, and sends it to his wife through the post office as a gift. In the church, an archimandrite says, "Oh, take me, I will be the vice president of the Livra, the monastery." Who goes up and who goes down? Who wants to be with God and who wants to be with nobody? This is very difficult to explain, and how to say, oh, just, says to somebody, Christ is in our midst. What does it mean when you have no confidence in anybody? It's quite difficult to approach somebody and say, well, I trust you. Because faith means that we can trust each other. That even if we don't live together, even if we are in remote places in the world, we know we can appeal to each other in love and, how to say, some spirit of growth. We want to help each other, help to build something which is the church. The church is the Eucharist. At least, a Jewish boy or girl is a Jew because he or she went through the womb of the mother. It's like the Pascha, the Pesach. You go, pass over the channel. And the channel is the Red Sea. And you can go forward, always ahead, or of something that you will never reach. But it is positive. But if you put your hands, you lay the hands and you say, you are consecrated, now you're a priest, a deacon, whatsoever. First of all, deacon, yeah? Whatever. Just show that this is real, that this is true. Show that the church doesn't lie. Show that the church doesn't abuse herself. Show that the church doesn't abuse the others, the faithful, the living body of the resurrected Lord. You see, this matter makes our lives real or fake. And even when lives are fake, they can change and become real. This is the power of faith. This is the power of what the Lord can do for us in our lives. Do remember the crime of Cain is now everywhere, not because it should be in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, in America. It is in our midst because we are tight to be together. When one limb does something, the other limb feels it. And we cannot run away. Willingly or not, we are tight. And we have to show that God willing, we can be signs, living signs of the resurrection. May the Lord protect us all. Amen.